I'm Ina Swatboy and I'll be working on paper 1, November Mathematics 2024, grade 12. I've done a breakdown of the mark allocations and how many marks it is, and it is 150 marks, and it has up to like 12 questions where question 1 is 27 marks, which is usually the algebra and inequities, and that is what we'll be working on right now. So without any further ado, I would like for us to go to paper 1, question 1. So question 1 has up to 27 marks, but I will take you step by step through each and every answer. I just want you to take a look at the question paper, get your calculator ready, for we're about to start. All right, so I need you to understand that when working in mathematical problems, you need to know that it is a subject full of principles, corollaries, rules that you must never tend to break if you want your mathematics to be accurate. And you can attempt a problem using different methods and ways if it is mathematically inclined to the rules and the corollaries and the principles of it. So in question 1, it's mostly algebra, so and inequities. So then question 1.1 is x brackets x minus 3 is equal to 0. So in this question, we know that x brackets x minus 3 is equal to 0. Remember to always test your answers when working in this question, because you might get too excited because most of the problems look very simple and end up getting something wrong that you were supposed to get right. So with this is what this is supposed to look like. Okay. All right. Hope you agree with me. Let's test it. Okay, if we say x is 0, then 0 of 0 minus 3 must be equal to 0, and that is true. So that is correct. And then if we take x to be 3, it's equal to 0. It's also correct. So that is our 2 marks. You get a mark there, you get another mark there. Okay, 1.1.2, it's 2x squared plus 1 equal to 4x. Now, maths is always a gambling game, but I don't want you to use gambling skills on it, but it always gives you clues. Now, the corrected 2 decimal places over there signifies that in this one, you won't have to do it as easily as you did to that one. Okay, you'll have to use the quadratic formula where you figure out and then yes, so this is what you need to use here, and we will find our answer to be in decimal form. That is why we need to correct it to a decimal form. But before you even move, I want you to remember that this is not in its standard form. When will it be in its standard form? Is it everything is equal squared minus 4x plus 1. Now this is in its standard form, where you can get your a to be 2, b to be minus 4, your c to be plus 1. So it is ultimately 1. So now you know that your x will be equal to minus 4 plus minus 4 squared minus 4, 2, 1, 2a. I hope you're following, because this, if you know this, you should be able to get the right answer. And in maths, I do encourage that you may practice, because practice makes perfect. You will never be able to get any problem right if you don't practice it. Because sometimes the very things that you find easy now may be not necessarily difficult, but they would have to require you to have experience in solving them, so that you may know which approach to take and when you must take it. Okay, so you're correcting to 2 decimal places, because if you substitute everything, it's 1,707106,781. But now correcting into 2 decimal places would be 1,71. And then you go to your calculator, you take the negative value, and you get your answer to be 0,29, because you have to correct it in second decimal place. Those are your 2 answers. Now we're moving on to 1.1.3, which is x squared minus 2x minus 3, which is bigger than 0. It's greater than 0. What does that signify? This is an inequality, and you must know that this signifies something. When it's bigger than 0, it means it's above that. You are focusing on the values that are above the x-axis, all right? So you just need to first solve this question before doing anything. What are the factors of 3 that can equal to minus 2? It's minus 3 plus 1. Okay, so now you're solving it to be x plus 1, which is equal to 0. Now we know that x will be equal to 3, or x will be equal to minus 1. Now we have our 2 values. We need to draw the Cartesian plane so that you can understand what is going on. Okay, minus 1 should be here, and then 3 should be there. And then you draw it. Nice, cute, quadratic. And then now we are looking at bigger than. If it was less than, we were going to look below the x-axis. But now it is bigger than 0. So we know that we're looking at areas like this. Okay? Now how do you write that? Because that is not your final answer. X is minus. Because all the values behind this one are less than minus 1, or x is bigger than 3. So every other value is bigger than 3. And that is how you should answer it. Now we're moving on to 1.1.4, which is 2x minus 2x plus 2 minus 32, which is equal to 0. That is worth 5 marks. Sorry, but this one was worth, there was a mark there, those critical values. This one was also a mark, and then this one was a mark there, so that was 4 marks. And our first question, we had a mark for the values, the answer, and the critical values, and our factors. So you had 4 marks over there. This one was worth 2 marks. So I'm happy that you now see how marks are allocated and that you always show your steps. You cannot just say it's equal to x is equal to 0 or x is equal to 3. You must show it using this form because this is mathematically correct. Even here, you may have substituted everything and not have shown these steps. You would only have to get answers a mark for these answers and not for this because this is part of the steps that you needed to take. But you need to show your examiner so that the examiner may not guess what you were doing or what you were trying to do. I would always say to my students, always try to teach your examiner and behave as though your examiner doesn't know maths so that you can effectively portray all the steps necessary. Okay, now we can break this down and simplify this like this.